She had worked at Rosewood Diner for 11 months. She knew every regular by name, by order, by the particular way they held their coffee cup. She knew which ones tipped and which ones left without looking at the check. She did not know the old man who sat at table 3 every Tuesday. He never gave his name. He ordered water and dry toast. He left exact change, never a dollar more. For 9 weeks, Maya Chen gave him half of her lunch every Tuesday, without being asked, without saying anything. On the 10th Tuesday, he did not come in. On the 11th Tuesday, 2 federal agents did, and the name they were asking about was his, and what they told her about him changed everything she thought she knew about kindness. Maya Chen had 6 days left at Rosewood Diner. She had given notice 3 weeks ago. Columbia's nursing program started September 8th. She had deferred twice for her mother's medical bills. The 3rd deferral window had closed. She was going. 6 more days of 6 a.m. shifts. 6 more days of table 4's standing order of 2 eggs over easy and a side of complaint. 6 more days. The old man had started coming in 8 weeks ago. Tuesdays only. Table 3, the one by the radiator that everyone avoided because it hissed. He was maybe 70, maybe older. The kind of old that happens faster than it should. He ordered water, dry toast. He read a newspaper, a physical newspaper, folded in quarters. He paid exactly. Left nothing extra. The first Tuesday, Maya brought him the toast and noticed his hands. They shook slightly when he lifted the cup. Not dramatically. Just the particular tremor of someone whose body is doing something his mind has not yet accepted. The second Tuesday, she brought him a bowl of soup he had not ordered. "I didn't ask for this." "I know. Kitchen made too much. I can see the kitchen from here." "Then you saw them make too much." He looked at her for a moment, then ate the soup. The 3rd Tuesday, she brought half her own lunch, a sandwich she had packed at 5:30 a.m. He did not say thank you. He ate it. She did not say anything either. She had 3 other tables. This became the arrangement. 8 Tuesdays, half her lunch, no names exchanged, no explanation. On the 7th Tuesday, he left something on the table when he paid. A business card, old, slightly bent at one corner. It read, Walter Harrington, Harrington Pharmaceuticals, Chairman Emeritus. On the back in handwriting, "You remind me of someone I failed to protect." Maya had put the card in her apron pocket. She had looked it up that evening. Harrington Pharmaceuticals, $340 million, painkiller manufacturer. 3 years ago, a class action lawsuit. Settled out of court. Confidential terms. She had not gone back to look further. She told herself she did not need to know. She was wrong.
The 10th Tuesday, Walter Harrington did not come in. Maya noticed at 7:15. Table 3 was empty at 7:15 on a Tuesday for the first time in 10 weeks. She refilled it twice, straightened the salt shaker, moved on. At 9:40, a man came in who was not Walter. 30s, expensive suit. The particular impatience of someone who has never waited for anything. He sat at table 3 without asking. "You're Maya Chen." "I am. Can I get you something?" "My father came here. Walter Harrington." Maya set down the coffee pot. "Is he all right?" "He's in the hospital. NYU Langone." A pause. "Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He has maybe 6 weeks." The diner kept moving around her. Orders came in. Coffee was poured. Someone at table 7 asked for more butter. Maya stood at table 3. "He talked about you," the man said. "Daniel Harrington. His son." "What did he say?" "That you fed him every Tuesday. That you never asked why he looked the way he did." Daniel looked at his hands. "He said you were the kindest person he had met in 3 years. 3 years is a long time." "Yes, it is." Something in the way Daniel said it made her look at him more carefully. His suit was expensive. His hands were steady. His eyes did not match his voice. His voice said, "I am a grieving son." His eyes said something she could not name yet. That evening, Maya went back to the Harrington Pharmaceuticals lawsuit. She read for 4 hours. The class action, 847 patients. A painkiller called Verilox. Liver failure. Wrongful death claims. Settled confidentially in 2023. The lead attorney for the plaintiffs, David Park. Maya stared at that name for a long time. David Park was Ryan Cole's attorney.
Maya visited Walter at NYU Langone on a Thursday. She brought toast, dry, from her own kitchen. He was in a private room on the 8th floor. He looked smaller than he had at table 3, which she had not thought possible. "You came. I brought toast. Dry, obviously." He smiled once, briefly. They sat in silence for a while. The particular silence of two people who have never needed to fill it. "My daughter's name was Sarah," Walter said. "She was 26. She had fibromyalgia, chronic pain for 4 years." He looked at the window. "We gave her Verilox, our own drug. I signed off on the trial data myself. I believed it was safe." "Was it?" "No." A long pause. "The trial data had been altered. The liver toxicity findings, removed from the final report. I did not know. I found out 14 months after Sarah died." Maya did not say anything. "Who altered it?" "My son." The room was very quiet. "Daniel altered the trial data," Walter said, "to accelerate FDA approval. The drug went to market 18 months early. 847 patients, 19 deaths. My daughter was the 20th, but she was never counted because the settlement was confidential and the connection was never officially established." "Why didn't you go to the FDA yourself?" "I tried, 3 years ago. Daniel found out. He had my emails monitored. He threatened to expose my own early knowledge, which I did not have, but which he had manufactured evidence of. He said if I spoke, I would go to prison alongside him. So you stopped." "I stopped." Walter looked at his hands, the same hands that shook at table 3. "I have been dying slowly for 3 years, Maya. The cancer is faster. I am grateful for that." Maya sat with this for a long time. She had fed this man dry toast for 8 Tuesdays. She had thought, "He is lonely, he is old, he needs a meal." She had not thought, "He is carrying the weight of 20 deaths and the name of the person who caused them." "What do you need from me?" "There is a USB drive in my apartment, 4C, West Side Boulevard. The original unaltered trial data. Daniel's emails ordering the alterations, wire transfer records. He paid the research team offshore." "Why me?" Walter looked at her carefully. "Because Daniel does not know your name yet, and because you are the only person who came every Tuesday without wanting anything." She should have said no. She said, "Tell me the address." And here is what she did not know. Daniel Harrington had been following his father for 3 weeks. He knew about the diner, he knew about table 3, and in approximately 90 seconds, he was going to find out her name. Maya went to Walter's apartment on Saturday morning. She told herself she was doing the right thing. She told herself she knew what she was doing. Both of these were partially true and partially not. The apartment was on the 4th floor of a building on West Side Boulevard. Walter had left a key with the super under the name Chen. She let herself in. The apartment was clean and almost empty. A few books, a photograph on the mantel, a young woman laughing mid-turn. Maya looked at it for a long time. Sarah. The USB drive was in the kitchen drawer under a tea towel, exactly where Walter had said. Maya picked it up, put it in her jacket pocket. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. "Ms. Chen, my name is Daniel Harrington. I believe you have something that belongs to my family." Maya did not speak for 3 seconds. "I am going to need you to put it back in the drawer and walk out of that apartment. I don't know what you're talking about. You are standing in my father's kitchen. The super has a camera. I have been watching it for 2 weeks. Microshock. He was watching the whole time. Maya has been walking into a trap. Maya looked at the USB drive in her hand. She thought about 20 deaths. She thought about Sarah's photograph on the mantel. She thought about her nursing program, starting in 11 days. I suggest you think carefully about what comes next, Daniel said. My attorneys are already prepared to file a complaint with the Columbia University School of Nursing regarding a student who broke into a private residence and stole medical research property. Before you have attended a single class, that landed. She had deferred twice. She had worked 6 years of double shifts. She had eaten half lunches at a diner to save money for textbooks. And he had found the one thing that would make her hesitate. She put the USB drive back in the drawer. She walked out of the apartment. She stood on the sidewalk for 11 minutes. Then she called the one person she had not planned to involve. Ryan Cole answered on the second ring. Ryan Cole had known Walter Harrington for 11 years. Not well. The way two people in the same industry know each other, by reputation, by the rooms they both occupied, by the occasional nod across a conference table. He had known about the Verilocks lawsuit. He had known David Park had represented the plaintiffs. He had not known Maya Chen had been feeding Walter Harrington dry toast every Tuesday for 8 weeks. She told him everything on the phone. He listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a moment. Maya. The USB drive is still in the apartment? Yes. Did you photograph the contents before you left? A pause. No. Okay. Another pause. Stay where you are. Ryan called David Park. Then he called his own attorney. Then he called a contact at the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit, a woman named Agent Rachel Torres who had worked the Verilocks case 3 years ago and had never been satisfied with how it closed. Agent Torres had been waiting for exactly this call for 36 months. The original trial data still exists, Torres asked.
14 years.
According to Walter Harrington directly, yes. And Daniel Harrington knows someone was in the apartment. He called her while she was there. Then he knows the drive is still there, which means he's going to move it. How long do we have? Hours, maybe less. A federal search warrant for the apartment of a deceased pharmaceutical executive because Walter Harrington died at NYU Langone at 6:14 p.m. that same Saturday. Takes a specific set of circumstances. A living witness who had spoken directly to the deceased about the location of specific evidence. Maya Chen was that witness. Agent Torres called her at 9:47 p.m. Ms. Chen, I need you to come in tonight. Everything Walter told you, we need it on record before Daniel's attorneys file anything with Columbia. If I come in, will the nursing program? If your testimony holds, Daniel Harrington will not be filing anything with anyone for a very long time. Maya sat on the sidewalk outside her Queens apartment building. It was 9:52 p.m. Her nursing program started in 11 days. 20 people were dead, and the only thing standing between Daniel Harrington and the rest of his life was a waitress who had fed his father dry toast. Maya gave her testimony at the FBI field office in Manhattan at 11:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. She sat across from Agent Rachel Torres and a federal prosecutor named James Okafor and told them everything Walter had said. She had a good memory, an occupational habit from years of taking orders without writing them down. She remembered every word. A federal search warrant for Walter Harrington's apartment was executed at 2:17 a.m. The USB drive was still in the kitchen drawer under the tea towel. Daniel had not moved it. He had not moved it because he did not believe a waitress would actually go to the FBI. This was his most significant miscalculation. The USB drive contained the original Verilocks Phase 3 trial data, unaltered, showing a 12.4% liver toxicity rate in long-term users. 47 emails from Daniel Harrington to the lead researcher ordering specific data points removed. Wire transfer records, $2.3 million paid to 3 researchers across accounts in the Cayman Islands. A memo from Daniel to the FDA submission team. The 12.4 becomes 0.8. Make it work. Daniel Harrington was arrested on a Tuesday. The same day of the week, Walter had always come to Rosewood Diner. Maya noticed. The charges: 23 counts of wire fraud, 11 counts of falsifying FDA submissions, 19 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 1 count of evidence tampering. His attorneys negotiated. The manslaughter charges were reduced. He was sentenced to 14 years at a federal correctional facility. The nursing program filing never happened. Daniel's attorneys had other things to focus on. Maya Chen started Columbia's nursing program on September 8th. She was 3 days late for orientation. She did not explain why. The Harrington Pharmaceutical Victims Compensation Fund, established as part of the settlement, capitalized at $67 million, named a patient advocate position after Sarah Harrington. The position paid for patient navigators at NYU Langone, Columbia Medical Center, and Mount Sinai. The first navigator hired was a second-year nursing student from Queens. Walter Harrington was buried on a Wednesday. Maya brought dry toast to the grave. She did not explain that either. Ryan Cole attended the funeral. He stood 3 rows behind Maya. He did not introduce himself. He had been trying to find the right moment for 6 weeks. He was still looking. Some things take longer than they should. This one was worth the wait. Comment now. Maya put the USB back when Daniel threatened her nursing career. Then she went to the FBI anyway. Type Maya. She made the right call both times. Type Walter. He chose the right person. Type Ryan. He showed up when it mattered, even if late. Subscribe for a next video. A billionaire's Uber driver has been listening to her calls for 3 months. He is not a driver. She is not just a passenger. And the man following her car is not who she thinks he is.